Right, let's start again. Where are you, Neil?
Wow, you finally got me in, Sonny. What's going on?
Ah, finally! Oh my, I think we're all at the mercy of this Wi-Fi broadband data thing. My God.
Ah, I think you keep.
I think we need to. I think collectively, Neil, we need to rewrite Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the theory of
Ah,
motivation, because without, I think below physiological needs like food, shelter, clothing, we need to put the damn internet on there. Without
yeah.
that, we can't do anything. We can't even communicate. So, how are you,
I'm not
buddy?
too
You all
bad.
right?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. We've got someone that's joined. She joined earlier on, so I think we just need to just press.
Oh, all right. Hi. Yes. Hi there. Hi there, new cat. Hello, welcome to Loose Men. Now,
Let's
what is
let,
on the menu today, my friend? What is on your mind?
well let's ask Nuket to ask. Let's ask Nuket, our fellow person that's joined our live to
Oh, right.
ask us a question.
Hi there, new cat. Welcome to our live Instagram show. So, what's on your mind, new cat? What would you like two life coaches to talk to
Yeah.
you about?
Let's wait. Let's wait and see. Let's put it in the hands of the universe.
Fantastic.
Are we still there, Nuket?
Let's let's have a look. Anything on your mind, new cat? Sorry, you're talking very fast.
Okay. So I'm going to I'll ask the question again. Nuket, what would you like us to talk about in this particular live session?
Hi there, new cat. We are life coaches and we help people solve problems. So, is there anything that you'd like us to talk about? You're going to be a life coach as well. Fantastic, brilliant.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing very good? Well done. So, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. So, new cat, are you doing a training course at the moment? Are you training?
Well,
Yes.
well, should we get started?
Hmm?
The drums are rolling.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. Here's a topic that I wanted to talk. I was going to say about talking about, and that is working from home.
Ah, yes, you mentioned that last time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, working
So,
from home.
how has it been for you then? This remote working, wearing Zoom wear.
You know what? I'll be very open and very honest. Oh, she's Turkish. Oh, wow.
Oh, hi, marvelous. Oh, I love Istanbul. Brilliant city. Love it. I wanna go back.
You know what? I'm going to put it out there because I think one thing that we as coaches, mentors, practitioners, I think it's always important to resonate with people, and I think it's always important to understand that although it's really important to always promote that positivity, I think it's also important to be aware that sometimes you're going to feel a little bit negative, and I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
and I think it's important to embrace that, because I think it's part and parcel of anybody striving to achieve something, or they're trying to keep that balance. And for me this week, I'm actually really struggling with working from home.
Okay. So, are you finding then that you're feeling, you're having some negative thoughts, or you're getting negative emotions are coming out by virtue of working from home this week? Is that what's coming out?
No, I think, because I'm going to ask you the question, because obviously you're working from home as well, and
Yeah.
what I'm finding is that, interestingly enough, working from home has always been something that I've really enjoyed. I've really enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed working from home, but of just of late, and I think it's given the fact of the impact of COVID. I've been listening to a lot of people, and they're saying the same sort of things, and that is that it's becoming quite monotonous.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the routine or the new routine in the new norm is that actually it can be quite sort of overpowering because you're just confined to your home.
Yeah.
Even with the restrictions that's now been lifted, and obviously, you know, this is still worldwide, it still seemed to be like a really interesting topic. And I think, I think it's something that's worthwhile discussing in terms of sort of what do we do, or what should you be advising people to do that are, I'm going to say, fortunate enough to be working from home. But what sort of tips would you be giving people, or what sort of things would you be mindful of?
Yeah, that's a really great theme, Neil, and thank you for sharing your own story. I think it's important for me to share my own story because I think it's quite interesting, because I mentioned before in other Loose Men shows that I really struggled to get going with home-based working, remote working, because I was always traveling up and down the country, working in schools and colleges, working with teachers, students, pupils, etc. So just being told that the whole shop has been shut was a complete shock to the system. Even though, you know, on some off days I would be home-based, but then ordinarily I'd be traveling and working.
Yeah.
So I found it quite difficult. But then I got myself into a routine. But what I found was, I think about 3 weeks ago, probably 7 weeks into home-based working, when I got myself into a routine, I just began to feel a bit worn down by the whole thing. You know, I thought, oh gosh, I've got to go back to the same desk, the same corner, the same, you know, it's the same old, same old. And I think you have to go with your natural vibe, because for me, I like moving, I like traveling, I like being mobile. So I thought I'd done well for 7 weeks without any problem. But then I started to get some negative pangs. I thought, oh God, fear of dread, and God. And then also because I got a bit overly comfortable, then I'd say, oh, I'm at home, I'm relaxed, I've got my Zoom wear on, I've got my shirt on, but I've got my shorts underneath. No one needs to know. And I just got really kind of comfortable. And then I thought, and then I'd stop like going for walks and start having regular breaks. I just then about 2 weeks ago I thought, right, I need to shake it up a little bit, and I need to go back to the pattern that helped me to get established into home-based working, which was a structure, a routine. So like no more than 1.5 hours of working in the morning, you know, solid 1.5 hours, no more than 2 hours, and then another hour and a half in the afternoon. Then I have an extended break, and then while the dinner's cooking, I do about 45 minutes an hour on my MacBook. And what I do is I make sure that what helps me is just like anchoring, just change the state. So I'll only, if I'm going to do an hour and a half in the morning and the afternoon, I'd make sure I have a break, just go for a walk outside, 5-10 minutes around the block, drink some water, just get some fresh air, and then go back into the space. And then for the early evening session, I'd bring my MacBook downstairs, and then I have a different environment. And so for me, I think structure and changing of the environment has helped me, because at the same time, it's a reality that at the moment, the work that I need to do is home-based now. You know, at the moment, until schools and colleges open up fully, and then also for me to feel confident about going there, making sure it's COVID-19 secure with the hand washing, social distancing, and their policy on mask wearing. And you know, with teaching and training and assessing, again, I don't know how it's going to fare in an actual institution when I'm there face to face. When if I decide to train with a mask on, or assess learners on their exams with a mask on. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. But the moment, my reality is that from now until, well, the other thing that's going to help me as well is I'm forcing myself to have a complete holiday in the first 2 weeks of August, which is what I would have done if I was working ordinarily, you know, in the outside world. So I'm building up to a break. So I'm going to be doing like 3 more weeks of work. And I know that you and I have got a project planned as well. So we're going to hopefully, as soon as, you know, our routines collaborate with each other, we'll be able to make a start on that. But my plan is for the first 2 weeks of August is just to sit in my inflatable hot tub, which is coming, hopefully, no delays. And then just have a bit of a semblance of a holiday, just catch up on a mountain of books. I've got all these books I need to start reading and digesting for my own leisure. So I'm kind of building up to a holiday, and I'm looking forward to it. And that's also motivating me to keep my routine structured, do the work, but not go overboard. Because I think when you are home-based working and you're at home, there's every temptation, because you're not traveling, you're not meeting people, blah, 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 you're not moving around, that you can stay in the one position. And it's so important for you to move yourself, to shift your body, to be able to keep that momentum. Because if that momentum stops, this is what happens. Then you get into a lull, you get into a negative state, you know, you start getting negative thoughts. And that happened to me 3 weeks ago. I just got too comfortable in this chair, and I thought, well, maybe I need to shift it up. So I thought, for me, the key things are, sorry, Neil, to go on about this, structure and changing of states, and having goals and looking forward to something which is non-work related. At the moment, it's helping me to keep on, you know, to keep those thoughts in check, because I do get them now and then.
Well, I feel like at the moment, if I'm being brutally honest, it's almost like I consider that home working is, I think it's great. I've always enjoyed it. Yeah, and I like it too. I think it's great, but I feel like at the moment it's almost like it is becoming a new norm. And I think some of the things that I've just made notes on. So you spoke about patterns, okay? You spoke about being comfortable, too comfortable. And I think any advice that I would give to somebody right now is exactly what you just said. It's like I said, it's that don't get too comfortable. You know, don't create a normal pattern. Keep adding some spice to your pattern in your day. I think that I've been guilty of everything that you've just said. I think I've got to a point where over the past 3.5 months, it's become too comfortable. I think it's about even you know, even right now, I'm just taking a quick break of my day. You know, if you want to look at it, like I've said to you before about having a cold shower, I haven't been doing that of late. So I think the point that I would be making to people, you
mentioned that before, the cold showers. Yes.
I think if anybody watches this and they're finding home working sort of quite challenging at the moment, I would just like to think, like I said, just keep to that pattern. If you're finding things that have been working and they've helped you through your day, keep pursuing them. Don't just stop it, and don't get comfortable. And like I said, I found this week it's been very, very challenging. I felt like everything's coming in. It's coming in. So today I've done something that I was very good at over the first sort of 4 to 6 weeks, and that was I just got myself out straight away in the morning. I've gone for a quick bit of exercise. So I think it's been really, really challenging, and I think it's interesting that I was speaking to somebody a few days ago, and they're actually finding that mentally they're actually rejecting this new openness in terms of going back to normal. So there's an interesting thing to think about.
Oh, okay, right. You mean when you say normal, you mean like just going outside and working and meeting people face to face and going actually inside buildings, normal.
They're actually finding mentally they're finding that actually more challenging now. And when you think about it, really, in terms of the long effect of all of this is that, okay, do you know what? I don't think it was that bad. I still stand by that first ever Loose Men edition. When you asked me that first question, how are you finding lockdown? And I actually put my hands up and said, you know what? I think it's been amazing. I do still stand by that. But I think as it's gone on, And I think with everything that's been going on, it's been so intense.
Yeah.
In terms of what they've made us do and what they've took away from us.
Yeah. We can't ignore that.
Yeah, I can relate to what this person was saying, and I think it's almost like being part of Big Brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've all of us across the world, across the nation, we've all had to make so many changes. And I think my own mind shaft is my mind shaft. Where's mind shaft come from? Mindset. What's a mine shaft? Is that a property thing? I sold that house years ago. I got that out the sorry, where that come from? Mindset. So my own mindset has changed, and for me it's benefited. I never expected to go through this, but like everybody else in the whole world, we just never expected it. And it's been a real test of adaptability. And I think this is what's needed now when you're talking about trying to get out of a lull or try to get out of a negative state because you happen to be in a routine. It all requires that momentum. Now, remember last week I said to you, I had a bit of an off week. It wasn't to do with routines. It was more of a personal issue around my children, which we've managed to sort out now. But essentially, I did have an off week, but talking about it, being open about it. So for example, if somebody is feeling that they're just like feeling it, they're just feeling like a bit suffocated in a cocoon, they can't get out, even though they're free in their own home, it's so important to be able to reach out to someone, to be able to share, like we're sharing, with each other. And I have to say, Neil, every time we do a Loose Men, I feel so much better, so much lighter. I'm able to talk to someone like-minded like you. Things are on our chest, we can just get it off, and this is what the huge benefit of doing lives like this. So it's, we are benefiting, I'm definitely benefiting, and hopefully it's going to reach out to lots of people and connect with them, that we're being totally open and transparent and loose about what actually we're doing. Oh, hi there, David. Hello. Hi, David's joining us. So I think as well as a structure, keep moving, having a bit of variety. For me, I like, talking, definitely I like talking. So talking to somebody, talking, on social media, having a chat with someone, making sure you've got your trusted contacts there that you can dip out to, feeling a bit down, or feeling a bit this, that, and the other. And somebody else will relate to that, and somebody else will connect. So having that connection with someone to help you get out of that lull stage is really, really critical. And the other thing as well is we've got to make sure that all the things that we love to do, that we don't ignore them because we're getting comfortable in a rut, in a routine. Because we can unwittingly find ourselves in a rut if we're not careful. So it's so important that the things that you like to do. So for example, I might dip into one of my books, or I might just go into a podcast, because I keep a list of podcasts that I want to listen to, and if I'm not in the bath listening to them, then I'll listen to them. 5-minute break. I'll check my subscription box for YouTube, or my favorite YouTube channels, and at work in the stick. All right, it's okay, David. No worries. We actually had a really bad reception at the start, so you're in very good company, my friend. All right, no worries. So I think, like for me, I have a love for cooking. So I like cooking fresh, organic, tasty food. So for example, I may plan to do a marinade for a chicken or something 2 hours before to get me out of the lull that I'm in. Which I like doing, but rather than doing it later, I'll do it earlier. Plus it'll taste better because with meat and marinade spices, it tastes a lot better. So it's about trying to, I think our mind can become our best friend, our subconscious mind, the subconscious mind, which allows us to be creative. And we have to be conscious of our subconscious mind in order to kind of think, okay, I'm feeling like this. What do I need to do? For me and for you, I think what you said earlier, feel it. Whatever you're feeling, let it pass. It'll pass away. But register it, own it, and then be mindful of it. Be still. Just be in the zone, and then just try to understand it, and then do something about it. For me, when I get into a negative lull, it's because I haven't moved enough. Physically, I've not moved enough. Sometimes when I use my brain a lot to do the kind of work that we do, which is professional, academic, coaching, education type work. We use our subconscious a lot, and if I use it too much without giving it a break, then it sends messages to my body that my body's getting a bit tired, a bit this, a bit that. So then it's a signal for me to start moving. Just like, I think there was once, Neil, I mean, honestly, you're a brilliant life coach, because I said to you, oh, it's raining outside, but I feel like going for a walk. You said, forget that, just get your shoes and get out. And it was raining, and I did it, and I felt so much better afterwards. So it really helped. Thank you. Thanks for that.
The thing is as well, and the one big point that I wanted to make today is, and again, you know, this is coming from my own experience this week, is that you have to have the courage to turn around and say that, you know what, sometimes things are not going to just be 100% right. In order to make it 100%, you need to sometimes just put your hands up and just turn around and say, hey, do you know what, I'm actually having a bad day. I'm not feeling great, you know, and there's no shame in saying that, you know. I'm always very good. I can keep things under control. I can sort of hide behind a smile. But you know what? This week I actually, for the first time, would do something that I would tell a client to do, and that is just don't be ashamed to turn around and say that you don't feel entirely great. Because absolutely, yeah, so important. Yeah, and I think the thing is with it is, and I think once you can actually turn around, and another good tip that I would always say to people is just imagine yourself, and going back to that mirror that I was telling you about a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, is imagine yourself looking at you. You know, what would you tell you? You know, and I had to turn around and say to myself this week that I've got to turn around and say, hey, do you know what? I'm not entirely happy. It's got nothing to do with anybody personally, but I'm not feeling entirely happy. And straight away, by taking that approach, I now feel a lot better. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to show you a book that I use. Pardon the language, but it kind of helps me when it just takes the edge away from that negativity. When I think, oh, what the hell's going on? Can you read that?
Not really.
Everything is FUCK'd, a notebook about hope. Now, honestly, you know, actually, let me tell you a story about this. I just thought, well, because I love going on Amazon. I love looking at books, and I thought it was a proper book, you know, like with text inside. Then I realized it was actually a notebook for me to write in. So what I do, if I'm feeling a little bit like, you know, oh, I'm feeling this, that, and I just write it down. I just put it to, and what happens is that I'm able to then download what's inside.
All the new information.
I download it into here, and then I look at it, and then I hopefully upload some positivity, some optimism. I try and look at it and think, well, is that? And sometimes you might not know why you're feeling like this, but then I kind of did a Venn diagram. You know, I love my Venn diagrams, and and I said, mind and body. I'm doing too much mind. No wonder your body's sagging and flagging and not. So you're gonna have to like combine the mind and body together. So basically, going out, putting a podcast on my earphones, walking, or my favorite music. You know, that really helps just to take the edge. And also, the thing is, you know, when we get very comfortable, we're unwittingly not allowing ourselves to enjoy things that we like to do, like listening to music, or just having that piece of cake, or whatever, you know, whatever you like, you know, whatever, as long as it's okay, it's safe, whatever, it's not going to do you any harm, then that's fine, you know, as long as you know what you're doing and you're aware of everything, then do that, you know, have that bit of treat or whatever you need, you know, just to take the edge off things. And for me, for me, it's like, for example, I keep two things actually. This is where I dump everything, my dumper. It all gets dumped in here because I'm trying to say, well, where can I get help from, right? From here, you know, for me, the hope is within. It's only because I'm not going to sound, I hope I'm not saying funny about this, but no one's going to give that to me, okay? No one, except maybe you, Neil, on a loose, you know, when I really offload, you know, maybe, you know, like, it's like normally, no one's going to do this for me or that for me or whatever. I'm going to, you know, I have to rely on myself, okay? And so I have to be my own life coach, even though I might not feel like it sometimes, you know? I'm coaching other people. So therefore, you know, for me, writing is a form of therapy, a form of coaching. So this is the one where I dump things in. However, I also keep a gratitude journal. So what I do here is when I'm feeling a little bit off, I'll write some affirmations, some positive statements here. So that's about 6 months worth. I just put it there and I just reflect on it now and then. And I just say, oh my God, yeah, I need to remind myself of all the thousands of things that, you know, I mean, for example, in the current environment where this virus is still rampant and we can't, even though things are loosening up and, you know, we can start going to the gym in the next couple of weeks or whatever, we still got to be very, very sensible. And be very mindful and vigilant. And so for me, you see, that reality also affects me as well, thinking, oh my God, I want to be able to do, but I haven't got the confidence to do it. But you know what? You've got to take baby steps. And like, for example, on Monday, I was in London. My son started his new graduate engineering job in electronic engineering in West London. And he had to go, I had to take him to Greenford because he had to pick up his computer so he can be home-based in Wolverhampton until his workplace can configure his role in a COVID-19 secure way. But the thing is, though, beforehand, I was getting anxious. Oh, my God, I have to go to London. I have to do this, that, and the other. But I was just sensible. I wore gloves. I wore a mask every time I went out. I kept distance. You know, I made sure I washed my hands regularly wherever I could. We didn't eat. You know, we didn't eat any takeaway food or anything. We had flasks. We had sandwiches. We had, you know, some Indian snacks with us from home. So we made sure that we were sustainable for us to break out, because at some point we are going to have to break out. And I have to say, Neil, just be going out, going to a couple of places, going to Uxbridge, Wembley, going to a couple of places safely, because everywhere you go, we went to IKEA in Wembley, they were really well organised, really good. Lots of people there.
But the thing is with it, though, is what I said, obviously, like, listening to everything you were saying now in terms of going out, you're doing this, you're still wearing your precautions, you're doing this. But then what would you advise then people that are working from home? Because let's be honest, okay, so the normal was that the majority of people would they would go to work, they'd have some place of office or something like that, okay? So like everything that you're saying now in terms of what you're doing, and right now you've managed to get out, you've managed to do this, but what advice would you then give people then that are then having to start work again on a Monday morning from home? Yeah,
basically you're just going to have to like, in terms of NLP speak, you just have to visualize what that day is going to entail, and then you start planning for that day. Because ordinarily, what we used to do is we're just used to, like, you know, take it for granted. We're getting in the car, we're getting into this building, we're shaking hands with people, we're doing, you know, we're buying from the canteen. So all these things, you know, are now laden with risks. So my advice is that if you have to go to work, okay, if you have to go to a building, you need to plan that day very carefully. Everything that you need to do, make sure that, you know, you are, you know, maintaining all the relevant precautions, like, you know, covering your hands, covering of the face, you know, not overly exposing body parts as well. And just make sure that when the place that you go to, there's actually facilities for you to be able to. I'm sorry, my power is getting. It's all right. It's okay. My power's getting a bit funny. It's okay. Just gonna.
But do you know one thing? I would say? Do you know one thing I would say to people right now?
So basically,
Do you know one thing?
Oh, my friend.
Sorry, I was just going to say. Here we go. He's gone.
Hello,
Is he
sorry,
back?
I'm sorry about that. My battery was running low. Well, my phone battery, not my battery. Sorry, mate, you were saying?
You know one thing that I would say, and again, this is just going straight through everything that we've been talking about in terms of like listening to each other, okay? But do you know one thing that I would say to people right now that's working from home, and again, I'm just speaking from my own personal situation, is you have to be resilient. You have to be resilient towards you, and you have to be resilient towards the routine, because the routine will keep, and again, it's almost like having a diet. You know, sometimes that thing might not be the right thing for you to be eating to get those few extra pounds off. So you need to play around. You need to keep manipulating that routine to kind of, because I think it takes a lot of effort. And I think, you know, when you look at it every day, even if it's just coming in and actually putting your chair in a different part of your room, something so minimal that you've got to take that time to move it to get back to that comfortable position.
Yeah.
It's about making those tweaks. But there's another thing that I would say, and I don't know whether you agree with this, but do not entertain any negativity. I'm sorry, but you know what? I have not got the time at the moment. I can listen to it for about 2-3 minutes, but it's got to be cut off. I can't deal with it. I don't want to hear any negativity. You know, in terms, I appreciate that it's going to happen. But you have to be mindful about that circle, whether it's friends, whether it's relationships, whether it's family members. I cannot tolerate it. I think that's another important thing. And I'm not saying that because I'm a mean person. But if you're feeling feeling quite inward and you're feeling like those walls are coming in, I think that's another important part to be resilient. If you got somebody that's wanting to lean on you a little bit, just be a bit mindful that I wouldn't bring that in too far, because I think again you've got there's an issue. There could be like an issue where you're entertaining too much of that. So again, you've got to be resilient about that bubble that's around you.
Yeah. And you know, like when you mention negativity, it's interesting because, you know, we are all interacting with people who are also having their own individual experience of the lockdown. So like I said to you, you know, some aspects of my mindset has changed forever. There's lots of different things, but also for me as well, my boundaries are much more clearer, much more sharper. And we all need boundaries to be able to safeguard and protect ourselves. Like I said, nobody's going to do things for me. I'm going to do them. I'm going to have to do them myself at the end of the day. So therefore, being very aware of your boundaries. And the other thing as well that's really important is that this is a really golden opportunity for people to be able to do some aspects of personal development, which actually they didn't have time to do. They've become aware of certain things about themselves, about their attitude, their behavior, their mindset. So now is the time to do it. So if you feel that you've come to the conclusion that you could be more compassionate, you could be more resilient, you could be more caring, you could be more this, that, and the other, then now's the time to do it. I mean, you can do online courses in this, or, you know, or you could just do your own reflection. Sorry?
I said,
what's that?
$10 loose men. They can always attend our loose men.
They can definitely, if they want a dose of resilience, just come and join us and Loose Men, and we'll sort it out. Just honestly, people can just like give us the message, give us their query, and you got two excellent life coaches who are on hand live to help people. So yes, absolutely. So there are many different things that people can do, and you know, if they don't know how to become resilient, then just very simple things like reflecting on aspects of your life that didn't serve you well because you were not in control, you were not aware, you were not conscious, and why were the reasons why, and then start looking at what kind of boundaries you need. Do you need very strict boundaries like a castle that nobody can get in? Or are there loose boundaries? Are there barbed wire boundaries? Like, you know, come near, but then don't go too near. Or is there, or are you allowing some people to have visas for them to come in now and then? It depends on what the issue is. So there are different types of boundaries and you know what? It's an absolutely ideal time to recalibrate all relationships, because everyone is going through their own experiences. So we can't expect, in some respects, to have the exact same relationship with that other person like we did pre-COVID-19, because everyone's had to think, rethink, recalibrate. And so I've had to make adjustments in my interaction with people as well, and they've had to do that with me. So this is going to be an ongoing process, because we don't know for how much. I mean, it may well be a permanent thing. We may have to do all of this stuff rest of our lives. We just do not know. But if it is, then we're just going to have to, all of us, build our resilience and look at different ideas and share ideas as well. You know, what's worked for you, what's worked for me, and share it on social media through your platforms and help people. Because what we're doing is we're delivering free content all the time to the public with YouTube videos, with lives like this.
I think as well, Sonny, and I'm just getting mindful now that my belly's telling me it's time to have
lunchtime.
You know what? And I think there's one thing that I would like to say as well, again, to whoever's watching this is that don't forget that word no. It's not.
That's so powerful. Very powerful.
No, you know, don't forget to say no. Don't forget to say no to yourself. Don't forget to say no, like to hear. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put up with this noise that's in my head. Don't forget to say. Don't be afraid to say, no to somebody. And it could even be your partner. It could even be a friend. You know, like I said, I mean, it could even be a family member. Don't be afraid to say no. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I'm not having a great time at the moment because I'm working at home. I'm having to do things. Don't be afraid to just turn around and say no. I'm sorry. I will have to come back to you on that. I apologise, but right now, do you see what I mean? And I think sometimes I think we can all be a bit guilty of thinking, oh my God, I can't be like that because I'm a really empathetic person, or maybe I'm always that person. But don't be afraid to turn around and say no, because as you've just pointed out, this is all new. You know, people's lives are changing for the good. You know, there's people that are at home having to deal with children on a daily basis. You know, usually they get a break through the day. You know, and they're having to work from home. You know, everything is challenging, and I just think I just think today was a great opportunity to kind of speak about this because I've had a challenging week, no more than what you have a couple of other weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. No, fair play to you, Neil. And also with regard, I mean, my children are grown up now, but I mean, when my children were younger, I always got them into routines and tried to make them independent. And this was obviously pre-COVID-19. So if I was a parent of very young children, I think my advice to parents is your children are like sponges. Teach them things, train them. They're at that age, they're coachable. Their subconscious minds are ready to take on lots of different ideas and different techniques. So start to teach them, and it takes the onus away from you in terms of doing everything, because the children, if you're not careful, they will also get themselves in a rut, just putting their feet up, playing the PlayStation, da-di-da-di-da-di-da. And so we've also got to, it's also really helpful for their mental health to keep that momentum and have that change, but also for children to also learn about being independent and doing things for themselves and working as a team and doing putting the shopping, or, help your mom and dad out with the shopping, or, peeling some vegetables. It all helps. Every little bit helps. So yes, absolutely.
I was just going to say, you just give me an idea for the next topic for loose men.
Oh, really? What's that?
Become your own guard dog.
Can I mention about dogs? For some reason, I don't know whether it's because I've been training lots of teachers and using Zoom, and all their pet dogs come to the screen sniffing me out. And one teacher said, it's because, Sunil, you've got a mellifluous voice. And 2 teachers said that. And the dog, so maybe a dog is coming in my life. My son said to me, you should get a dog, get a Labrador.
Yeah.
So you never know. They are beautiful creatures. You never know. But yeah, be your own guard dog. You have to be your own guard dog, because who else is guarding you, right? And you're right. stop saying yes all the time, okay? Because people will pick up on that and they will just draw, because without you realizing, they'll draw and suck. And you just got to make sure that you are comfortable saying no without offending, but just to be clear. Otherwise, people will just keep taking and taking and taking, whether they mean to or not. So yes, no is a very simple word, but an extremely powerful one.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I don't know about you. I'm going to go and have a lovely cheese sandwich with some olives, and then
Sounds lovely.
But
can you send it? Can you send me a portion to Wolverhampton? That sounds delicious.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say that obviously, I hope anyone that watches this has enjoyed it. It was a bit random. Again, it's always random. Thank you for letting me join today. We'll have to swap it around next time, and I'll do it from my end. But no, like I said,
yeah, no, that's fine. No worries, we can do that. No, great choice topic, Neil.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, buddy.
It's been lovely seeing you again, Sonny.
And you, mate. You take care. You have a great weekend, okay?
Take care then. Bye.
Bye.